So I know that a lot of you guys do not have access to personal pans right now. You're probably thinking, hey, I need to get my own pans before I can start to improve, get that one-on-one time I need to get better as a beginner. And I want to let you know right now, that's not the case. You know this already. You don't have to wait until everything is absolutely perfect. You don't have to wait until the time is right in order to start improving yourself. There are plenty of other options available, and today we're going to be going through some strategies that are often overlooked and are extremely simple that would allow you to progress and get that one-on-one time to develop without having to wait until you have access to your own personal steel pans. My mission for these videos is to give steel pan beginners, steel pan enthusiasts, the tools, strategies, and mindsets that they need in order to progress their playing. And if you want to support this mission, feel free to like this video and subscribe to the channel so that this message can get out to the persons that truly need it the most. The first thing that we're going to talk about is the single most effective thing that you can do without having a steel pan to develop your own playing. That is borrowing a pan from the pan yard, the pan side, the steel shed that you are currently a part of. This is the best option, but it's also the most difficult because there's a lot of things that are outside of your control. Your steel pan instructor may be hesitant. This may be outside of his control. You may have to speak to the school that you're going to or the organization that owns the steel pans. Regardless of all of that, if you're able to carry home your steel pan and practice by yourself, you're going to be able to reap the most benefits. So I'll give you a few tips that you can use to increase the odds of being able to carry home one of the pans. The biggest obstacle that is holding you back is whether or not your tutor trusts you enough and believes that you're reliable enough to be given an instrument that costs a lot of money to make and a lot of money to repair and maintain. So you're going to have to prove to them that you are trustworthy and that you are reliable. How are you going to do that? You're going to show up to rehearsals on time, and you're going to show up as often as you can. If you cannot make a rehearsal, you're going to tell them beforehand so that they know. You're going to take initiative to help other students that may be struggling in the pan room. And if you yourself are struggling, you're going to take initiative to go ask more questions and get the help and support you need to improve. Once you do this consistently for the first few weeks or first few months of your rehearsals, that is going to help you cultivate a reputation of reliability and trustworthiness. That's going to allow him to feel more comfortable with lending you the steel pan or vouching for you if you have to talk to a third party. Even if you can't carry the pan home for whatever reason, this reputation is still going to help you because your instructor is going to be comfortable with allowing you to practice outside of typical rehearsal times. Musicians in general like to help cultivate and grow persons that take initiative and responsibility to grow themselves. So the fact that you've asked to carry home a pan to practice, even if the answer ends up being no for whatever reason, your instructor is going to see that initiative, see that you're trying to help yourself, and he's going to be willing to support you in developing yourself through other means. However, if everything goes well and you're allowed to carry home the pan, you're going to have to know how to take care of the pan so that you bring it back in the same or in a better condition than you found it in. How are you going to do that? 1, treat the pan with sensitivity. It's made of metal, yes, but it is a very delicate instrument. It's really easy to damage the pan by hitting it the wrong way, and because you hit the pan the wrong way, it goes out of tune. I want you to be gentle, careful, concise, and deliberate with how you handle the pan physically, getting it out of the case, putting it onto the pan stand. That is going to help a ton when it comes to decreasing potential damage. You're never going to rest the pan on its belly. You're never going to have anything hit the belly of the pan. When you're not playing the pan, you're going to rest the pan on its case. If you have to place it on the ground, you're going to place it on the ground with the belly facing upward. If any water or sweat or moisture gets onto the pan, you're going to wipe it off with a microfiber cloth immediately. If the pan is chrome, you may want to buy Brasso or WD-40 or any metal polisher to shine the pan to maintain the look of the pan. Here's a good tip. If you carry home a rusty pan that hasn't been taken care of a while, and if you use any metal polish to help take the rust off and carry it back, that's going to give you a bunch of brownie points, because then the instructor knows that you're going to bring back the pan in a better condition, which gives them a much higher incentive to allow you to keep borrowing pans in the future. Don't place any objects into the pans other than the mallet. It may seem benign to put your phone or to put a textbook with notes into the pan, but over time that kind of stuff is going to carry the pan out of tune. You don't want to develop that habit. I want you to keep track of your hangers. I want you to keep tabs on the 2 hangers, because if those hangers are starting to wear and tear, one of them could snap while it's on the pan, which could damage it when the pan hits the floor. When you're putting the pan onto the pan stand, rest your hands on the rim of the pan and then use your hands to guide the hangers onto the pan stand. Don't hold the pan by the hangers, because again, if it pops, you're in bad luck. Once you follow those steps, you'll be able to keep the pan in a good condition. You won't get in trouble for accidentally doing anything to damage it. And again, if you cannot carry it home, look for other accommodations. Ask your instructor if you can use the pan outside of general practice times. And once your instructor can trust you and feels comfortable with you using the pans without supervision, you'll likely be able to get that done. The second option is a cardboard steel pan cutout. This is going to be the most versatile option, because oftentimes you may not have the ability to carry home your pan to practice. For example, if you play a larger pan like a 6-bass, a tenor bass, a cello, or if you don't have access to your own personal transportation, it's going to be difficult to carry those pans home. However, if you create a cardboard cutout of your pan and you copy the note layout of your steel pan onto that cardboard, it's going to allow you to practice your technique more concretely. You're not going to be able to hear the specific notes that you are striking on the cardboard, but you're going to be able to work on your technique, work on your control, work on your balance. You're going to be able to look and deliberately choose notes and have a tactile response. And it's not perfect, but if you're, for example, playing 3 cellos and you can't carry the pan home, and you create different cutouts with the options that are available, it's going to allow you to practice your technique regardless. Just ensure that when you draw in your notes, the size and the placement of the notes are as similar to the pan that you actually have as possible, so that you can transfer the stuff that you practice at home onto the actual instrument when the time comes. The third and last option that you have is by using a pan app, a Steelpan app. This is the most available option. It's probably going to be the easiest one for you to do. However, you won't be able to practice the specific hand techniques and orchestration and sticking in the exact same way, because the device you're using is going to be much smaller than a typical steel pan. The notes may be in slightly different places. They're going to be a lot smaller, and as a result, even though you are getting the sound of the pan as you're striking, you may end up missing some important aspects of technique and sticking, because you don't have a one-to-one replica the way that a cardboard steel pan cutout would have. You also have to keep in mind that the pan layout that you use may not be the exact same as the pan layout that's on the app. For example, if you play 6-bass or tenor bass, the specific orientation, where C is, where D is, where E flat is, those notes may be in a completely different order, which is going to make practicing on a pan app virtually impossible. So there's a give and take there as well. What's going to ideally happen though is you're going to be using these 3 options in tandem, in combination, in order to get the most practice you can, so that you can focus on the individual aspects that each individual method gives you and put them together to continue to develop yourself. I can't wait to hear how you guys implemented these strategies so that you can take the one-on-one time that you need in order to improve your own pan playing. If this video gave you a ton of clarity and it was helpful for you, again, feel free to like the video, share it to whoever you think would benefit from it, and subscribe to the channel so that we can reach more people in the algorithm and further our mission to make Steelpan educational content available for everyone. Thank you so much for watching. We always have tools that we can use to better ourselves, to improve ourselves as Steelpanists. We just need to know what they are and how to use them best. Have a nice day.